In honor of my first full year on Instagram, I gave everyone the opportunity to ask me a few questions for this Q&A, and I received so many questions, and I'm super thankful, so I'm going to try to get through all of them as fast as I can because I know how tedious it is to wait for your questions. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. The first one is, how long have I been collecting? I got my first doll for Christmas when I was 6, but I really didn't start collecting until I was 15 or 16, I think is what I would say. It was when I really got into building up my collection and all of that sort of thing. Do I like Star Wars, and which one is my favorite? I do love Star Wars, and everyone who also loves Star Wars is going to hate me, but my favorite episode is episode 1, because I love Padme and Queen Amidala, and I think she's the most fabulous person ever. When did I get my first doll, and were you really interested when I first saw her? I got Samantha when I was 5, almost 6, and I loved her from, I don't remember not loving Samantha, so we'll just go with that. My favorite photo that I've taken, although I really love the images I've been taking lately, my favorite photo that I've taken would probably have to be the one of Lane with her kite, which if you are not familiar with it, look at my other video that I have posted, or I can direct you to it on Instagram if you leave a comment. When I first started taking pictures of my dolls more seriously, I did a lot of really involved setups, and I think that really makes the picture. I don't have the resources to do that right now, but if I could, I wish I would. I definitely, if I still had the resources to be doing the really more developed photos, I definitely would. Which doll is my favorite? In my opinion, that is like asking who my favorite child is, and my opinion on that is that everybody has a favorite child some day of the week. So my favorite doll changes from day to day, sometimes from hour to hour, but right now I really like Jess and Rebecca. How do you pick your dolls' names? I usually just stay with the historical name or what their given name is, because as of right now, I haven't ever gotten a Just Like You or MAG or any doll that doesn't come with a name. A few times I'll change them up a little bit, like I didn't think Isabel really looked like an Isabel, so I named her Zara, and Caroline I switched to Coraline because my friend's doll was so associated with that Caroline that it felt wrong to give mine the same name. And then Sawyer and Kaylee Scout I just named because my roommate helped me name them and we liked them. So, who is my inspiration? I'm not really sure who I would have to name as my doll inspiration, but my photography inspiration is definitely Sue Bryce. She's fabulous. She's an Australian glamour photographer, and I'm completely in awe of the way she works. Who inspired me, or what inspired me to join AG Instagram? Photo stealers, which is a little bit ironic. I have been on Flickr with my doll photos for a number of years, and I noticed that my photos were being taken off of Flickr and put on Instagram, so I made my own Instagram account so that I could better monitor the photo stealing. Which historical would you bring back to AG and why? If I could bring back any of them, I would probably bring back Kirsten, only because I have a Kirsten doll, but she's technically my sister's, and I'm very afraid that someday my sister is going to tell me she wants her back. And I would like to be able to get my own Kirsten doll to ensure that I'll always have one, because she's a beautiful character. If you could only have one doll in the whole world, who would it be and why? I could never pick one doll, but I have no idea. It's too hard. I can't do it. Next question. Who is my favorite AG tuber? And I have to pick just one. I would probably have to pick Anna Basil Mentos, because she's pretty cool. If I could make any custom doll, what would she look like? No price limit, blah, blah, blah. I already did that. She would look like Sawyer, because that's what Sawyer is. Who do I recommend most? Zara, Isabel, or Coraline? And they're both gorgeous, like beautiful dolls, but I think I would have to recommend Isabel over Coraline simply because her hair is way more manageable. I love Coraline, but that hair, bruh, is hard. How was your Instagram experience? Things you liked about it? How did you discover it? I like Instagram a whole lot more than I thought I would. I was very warmly welcomed to the community, and I love all of the comments you guys leave and all the likes, and I'm so grateful for it, and it just makes me feel wonderful. So I really enjoy my time so far on Instagram. Next is, how long have you been interested in photography, and when did you get introduced to the online AG community? I've been interested in photography for probably going on about 6 years, but I've been really more serious about it for the last 3.5, 4 years. I was introduced to the online AG community. It's a little bit funny. When I was in middle school, we didn't really have Instagram and stuff like that, so I would wake up early in the morning and I would just Google things. And I would Google American Girl because that was something I was interested in, and I stumbled upon the AmericanGirlFans.com, Liz's website, and there were a bunch of us on there that would comment on everything and chat with each other, so eventually Liz made us a comment board specifically for us to chat on, and then that led to the message board that she created, and we were on there for a long time, and that was my first real experience with the community, and it's great. I'm still friends with a lot of those girls. Which background for your pictures do you like to use the most? I like to use the wall underneath my window in my bedroom because I don't have to go outside. I love outside, but it's just so much easier to do it in my room. And I love taking them outside, and I do it when I can, but I'm a busy person, so. Do I prefer Instagram or Flickr, and why? That's tough. I really like Instagram because the community is fabulous, but I really like the quality of Flickr, and you just have a lot more opportunities for your photos there, and the quality is better. How many dolls do I have? That's a very good question. I'm not really sure. This is Blair Waldorf, by the way. Hey, say hi, Blair. I have my dolls at 2 locations. Part of them are at my parents' house, and part of them, she's on a keyboard, are here with me at school. And I think I have a 21 or 22, but I've never really had them all together to be able to count. So I'm gonna go with 21 or 22. If you could design your dream girl of the year, what would she look like? Well, ideally, when I grew up, I always wanted a girl of the year or just like you doll that looked just like me. But then they came out with Isabel this year, and she's perfect for twins. And that's really all I could ask for, so I don't know. I mean, she would look like Isabel. What doll do you enjoy taking pictures of the most? That's hard. I can't pick. Probably Rebecca or Ruthie or Coraline or Sawyer or Jess or any of them. Or Addie. Addie is beautiful. I love taking pictures of my Addie. I think she's such an underrated doll, but she's so gorgeous. Do I like sewing for my dolls? I wish that I could sew, but that's just not one of my talents. So I don't sew for my dolls, but I wish that I could, and I just am in awe of anyone that does. How did I discover that I liked dolls? I don't remember a time that I didn't like dolls. I've loved them my whole life. It's just who I am. Blair, stop that. What doll would you say is the most photogenic? Coraline tends to be very photogenic, as does Isabel and Jess. Jess is beautiful. How do you store all of your doll things? At my parents' house, they live in an entertainment system where I set all the dolls up, and then I have a little cupboard and 2 shelves that I put my stuff in. And here at school, I have an end table that's just tall enough underneath it for them to stand under. And there used to be plenty of room, but now they're getting a little bit squished. And all my doll clothes and accessories are in an under-bed storage compartment container thing. It's not the best system, and I totally don't recommend it. It's miserable trying to find certain things. Who's your dream custom, one that you haven't made yet? I don't really have a dream custom right now because I just made Sawyer and Kaylee Scout, and I love both of them. So, if you were in charge of AG for a week, what changes would you make to the company, and why? If I was in charge, I would put so much more prominence on the historical characters and specifically their stories, because I think that a lot of that is getting lost. They would be forever. They did put a lot more emphasis on the line. They redid it, but they're still not emphasizing the wonderful stories that have been written for these characters and the lessons that you learn from them. Where did you get your first doll? How many do you have? I already answered those. So look back a little bit if you want another answer to that. if you could design anything for American Girl, what would it be? I'm a big fan of Tutu Dumont. For the photographer side of me thinks they're gorgeous for pictures, so I would probably create something like that for AG. It's not a fluffy tutu, but it's a tutu style dress, and it's got lots of embellishments on it, and they're very gorgeous. And I think one for an American Girl, that would be beautiful. What is my general procedure for photo stealers? Typically I comment, and then they delete my comment, and then I comment again, and hopefully they'll delete it, and most people do, they'll delete it, they'll send me apologies, and that's great. I don't need an apology, just delete it. But some people will block me, so then I go on my computer, if their account is public, and I copy the URL, and I submit a form to Instagram, and then they remove it for me. It's convenient. What are my favorite Etsy shops? Rachel, I cannot remember what your Etsy shop is called, but Bold and Radiant Echoes has one, and she makes some great stuff in there, very cute. Golden Doll Boutique by someone, I don't think it's called Golden Doll Boutique anymore, it's called Estelle somethings, or I don't remember. I buy from Etsy occasionally, and I always get great stuff, and I mean, if you look through my Instagram feed, you can, I'll tag people usually in their pieces, and I recommend all of it, but I'm not very good at remembering shop names, so yeah. What helps me get inspired to do a specific photo shoot? I don't know. I have a really big imagination, and I just I'll pick a doll or a clothing piece or a headpiece and just kind of imagine a story to go with it, or just going out and letting something take shape itself is really the way that I probably get the most creative photos. The Snow Queen photos, which are mentioned directly in my comment, were it doesn't snow down here very frequently. We had 3 snow days last year. It was complete chaos because we got an inch of snow. But so that was another thing. The snow is introduced to my environment. I'm not familiar with it. It's such a magical thing, so I created a magical photo shoot to go with it. So I think I covered all of them. I might have missed a few, and I apologize profusely if I missed your question. Feel free to ask it again or in the comments, and I'll answer it. Yeah. Have a nice day.